So hello everyone and once again welcome to my channel Engineering Made Simple. Now in today's class we will study about some basic, that is elementary continuous time signals. Its value is 0 for t is equal to 0 and its value is minus 1 for t is less than or equal to 0. Now let us understand its plot. This is known as signum function. X of t is equal to SGN of t. So wherever you see SGN of t, you should understand that signum function is written in the question. So then let us understand its plot. So this is your plot of signum function. So I will write SGN of t, x of t is equal to SGN of t on y axis. Now let us see its signal definition. For t greater than 0, its value is its value is 1, right? So this is similar to your unit step function. So this particular part, because this particular section is your t greater than 0, this is t equal to 0, and for t less than 0, that is this part. You should not label it this way. I am labeling it for explaining purpose only. So here its value will be minus 1. So this will be minus 1. So this is similar to your negative version of your for negative version of your unit step function. So that's the reason I have written minus u of t. An alternative way of defining a signum function is 2u of t minus 1. So if you do 2 times u of t minus 1, you get signum function. So for time being, remember this: when you will do signal operations or mathematical operations on various continuous time signals, you will understand this. So for time being, the signal looks like this. So the signum function, basically I will erase everything so that there should be no confusion right now at this stage. So I will plot this signum function again over here. So signum function is a function whose value for t greater than 0 case is positive 1. From the signal definition only I am writing. So and for t is less than or equal to 0, it will be minus 1. So this is how your signal function is plotted, and this is your independent variable time. Okay. Now let us move on to study the next signal. Let us move on to study the next signal, that is triangular signal. Triangular pulse signal. Why triangular pulse signal? Because the waveform of the signal looks like triangular pulse. Okay. So here in this case, let us define this signal. So x of t is equal to, triangular pulse is denoted by this symbol, like a triangle over here. So 1 minus modulus of t by a for t is less than or equal to 0. For t is less than or equal to a, and it is defined as 0 elsewhere. For t greater than, for t less than or equal to, it is 1 minus t by a, and for t is, for mod t greater than a, its value is 0. So from the signal definition, now we will draw its diagram. So mod t by a, so this is some factor dividing the independent variable time. So that would come over here. So on the negative time axis, this would be minus a and plus a. So this will be the limits of your signal. It is triangular signal, triangular or triangular pulse. For t equal to 0, for t equal to 0, for while what would be the value at t equal to 0? So 1 minus, here t will be equal to 0. 1 minus 0 by a. So it would be 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. So for t equal to 0, its value will be 1. And for remaining case, it would look like a triangle like this. So this is known as a triangular pulse signal because this looks like a triangle. So here it should be intersected properly over here. So here its value is 1. For y it is 1 minus mod t by a. Now let us check for t is equal to a case. T is equal to negative a, let's check. Now what will be 1 minus mod of negative a upon a? So it would be nothing but 1 minus 1, it would be 0. So that's the reason here it is intersecting, right? So this is how you define a triangular pulse signal. There is nothing much to explain this signal. Let us move on to next signal, which is the exponential signal or real exponential signal. So let us study the next one, real exponential signal. So let us see its definition. So when x of t is something of the sort a, where a is the magnitude or amplitude, here in this case magnitude or amplitude of the signal, a e raised to bt. Now understand this particular one. Here a and b are both real because we are talking about the real exponential. So now here for first case will be increasing exponential signal. So when it would be increasing exponential, whenever this b, a e raised to e exponential e raised to, whenever b value is positive, your exponential signal will go on increasing exponentially like this, and it would intersect at a value a. So when x of t is equal to a e raised to bt, so when your b is positive, you will get this type of plot which is an increasing exponential signal, and this is your time axis and this is x of t. Now the next subtype in this only, decreasing exponential signal, that is decreasing real exponential signal. Now I will make a small modification in this function. So x of t is equal to a e raised to minus bt. Now for negative value of b, what would it be? It would be a decaying one. So it would start with a high magnitude, but it will go on decaying because of the negative power of b over here, and it would intersect at some amplitude a because it is multiplied as a into e raised to minus bt. So if there was no a here in this case, it would intersect at 1 because there is nothing behind this function. So this is the plot for timing, keep it as a e raised to minus bt. So it is starting with high amplitude, but it goes on decaying. So it is a decaying exponential or decreasing exponential.
41 minutes.
Now we will move on to the next signal, that is rectangular signal or gate function. Rectangular signal, or gate function. So both these terms mean one and the same thing. Function meaning signal is expressed as a mathematical function. That's the reason the term is used alternatively over here. So it is denoted by rectangle T by capital T. Now remember this, in this case also This small t is your independent variable time, which denotes it is a continuous time variable. And this time capital T is nothing but the duration of the signal. So your independent variable in this case will be small t. This capital T is used to denote the duration of the signal. So just note this small difference. So x of t is RECT. That meaning of this RECT is rectangular signal. Now let's see its signal definition. Its value is 1 for duration of minus t by 2. Now this capital T by 2, this duration. Signal duration between minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 is 1, and it's 0 for otherwise case or else. So this t is nothing but t is equal to minus t by 2. So because this is your x-axis, right? So x-axis is denoted by time, and where it is denoted for this much instant of time. That's the reason capital T is used here for in order to indicate the duration of the signal. So now let us plot this rectangular signal or gate function. So its value is 1 in between. So its value is 1 in between minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 for independent variable t over here. Have a look at this one. So this is your rectangular R of RECT of t by capital T. So between minus t by 2 to plus t by 2, its value is 1. So it looks like a rectangular pulse. So it is known as a rectangular function or gate function, and for otherwise case its value is 0. So it is pretty much clear that here the value is 0, and add of t by 2 also the value is 0. So no need to mention it explicitly. But look at this plot carefully. So this is your rectangular function. Now the next, we saw real exponential signals, right? Now we will see complex exponential signals. So now complex exponential signal is another type of complex exponential signal. So now this particular one, x of t is nothing but, I am defining it, e raised to j omega naught t. Now have a look at this way. Why it is called as a complex signal? Because you know this j stands for under root of minus 1, under root of minus 1, which is a complex number. So this is a complex signal because of the presence of the variable j, complex number indicator j over here. So this is an imaginary part. So whichever part has a prefix j to it, we say that it is an imaginary part of the signal. And any complex signal will have both real and imaginary parts. Real and imaginary parts. Remember when you studied complex number in your LN standard, complex number was denoted by something z is equal to x plus iy. So this was your complex number, and this was your real part, and whatever was with j or I was your imaginary part. So same is the case with complex exponential signals also. So now the first case in this is a increasing type of exponential signal. So it is an increasing type of exponential signal because there is no negative sign in the exponentiation power. So now let us start drawing its plot. So this is increasing complex exponential signal. So now my amplitude will go on increasing gradually. Okay. And if you observe, this is how it will go on increasing like this. So earlier the amplitude was short, magnitude was short, but it goes on increasing with time. So this is the plot for x of t is equal to e raised to j omega naught t, which is the increasing exponential, complex exponential, and this is your time axis. So wait a minute, this is the dotted envelope joining its peak and trough. So from this only you come to know that this is an increasing complex exponential signal. So if you join this peaks of this waveform, you will get this particular increasing exponential type of stuff. So that is x of t is equal to e raised to j omega naught t. Now let us understand what is a decaying complex exponential signal. And when I say decaying or decreasing, its amplitude or magnitude will go on decreasing with time. So it would be e raised to minus j omega naught t. Now let us see how its plot would be. So it is decreasing one, right? So let us draw its plot over here. So this is x of t is equal to, this is the decreasing case, x of t is equal to minus j omega naught t. This is your time axis. But now here in this case, your amplitude is high, but it will go on gradually decreasing. Wait a minute, I will draw it again properly. So this is your decaying exponential signal. And as you can see, amplitude goes on decreasing. See, the amplitude is decreasing here in this case. So it goes on decreasing, on and on. It will go on decreasing as the curve proceeds further. So if we join this envelope of this curve, it would be a decaying exponential. Observe this. It is a dotted line actually, but I am showing it as a continuous one for simplicity's sake and understanding, because I am showing it on video. So now this resembles, if you join the peaks of this curve and troughs of this curve, it resembles a decaying exponential signal, and because of this minus sign, it is known as a decaying complex exponential signal. And by Euler's relation, this is a sinusoid inside it, right? So when we say that it is e raised to minus j omega naught t or e raised to plus j omega naught t, in the positive case, by Euler's relation we have, whenever it is e raised to minus j omega naught t, by Euler's formula we have cos omega naught t plus j sin omega naught t. And we are talking about the complex part. So there is a sinusoid inside it, inside this particular exponential function. That's the reason the sinusoidal waveform is present to us. So these are another types of signals which are known as complex exponential signals. Now we move on to the next type of signals. Move on to the next type of signals, which are sinusoidal signals. And one more thing about complex exponential signals, that these are periodic signals having fundamental period 2 pi upon omega naught. Now what is the periodicity of the signal, you will understand once we do examples on checking whether the signal is periodic or aperiodic signal. And what is the meaning of periodic signal? It would represent, the signal would repeat itself after some fundamental time period. The signal waveform will go on repeating itself after some fundamental time period t, so that is known as periodicity property, that we will discuss later. So for any value of omega naught, the signal will be periodic and continue at periodic intervals. Now the next signal is sinusoidal signal. Now this sinusoidal signal is very much familiar to us from your basic electrical engineering course and electrical networks also. So this is how the power supply, that is the power line frequency in our house looks like. So that is nothing but your sinusoidal signal. So this one everyone is familiar with. So this is x of t is nothing but a sine or cos. So both represent the same nature. So it is known as sinusoidal. Or when I write it is cos, it is known as cosinusoidal also. But in general, it is represented as sinusoidal signal only. So a cos omega naught t plus theta. This is your expression, where a is the amplitude of the sinusoid or cosinusoidal waveform. Omega naught is your angular frequency in radians per second. Theta is the phase angle. Phase angle of sinusoid or cosinusoid in radians. Now let us see how its plot would look like.
It's bigger and bigger and bigger.
How its plot would look like. So now this amplitude. Now as you know, in case of cosinusoidal or sinusoidal signal, it is a peak to peak amplitude, right? So it would be plus a and negative a. So the signal will be varying from minus a to plus a. And this is nothing but x of t is equal to a cos omega naught t plus theta. This will be your time axis, because we are discussing a continuous time signal in this. So I am little bit bad at drawing, but your shape should be perfect for sinusoidal only. Yeah. So this would intersect at a cos theta, because you can see here time t is equal to 0. So when I put time t equal to 0, the intersection at, so what is time t equal to 0? It is your y-axis. So it is nothing but when a cos omega naught, here t will be 0. So cos 0 plus theta will be cos theta. So the intersection point would be a cos theta. So this is your nothing but the sinusoidal signal. This is how it will look like, and it would vary peak to peak in between amplitude minus a and plus a. So this is very important signal from the point of view of electrical and electronics engineering. That is sinusoidal or cosinusoidal.
एक तासाला पोचलाय.
Cosinusoidal signal. Okay.
Split you can.
So cosinusoidal signal. Now once again I will try its plot and for not to explain its periodicity. Again this. So this is x of t is equal to a cos theta. A cos omega naught t plus theta. Now this was the amplitude. Here it is minus a because it is the negative axis. Here it is positive axis. And here intersection point is a cos theta. It is the time axis. Now when we were discussing this particular equation, we said that omega naught is angular frequency in radians per second. But now understand, there is one important concept of period over here. So what is the period over here? Period is nothing but 2 pi by omega. So this would be the fundamental time period. T is equal to 2 pi by omega naught. Okay. So this is known as fundamental period. Fundamental period. Fundamental period is denoted by T naught. So what does this mean? Essentially, this is the difference between this one, after this particular duration, that is fundamental period, the signal pattern will go on repeating itself. So if I go on drawing, this signal will be this signal will continue as this pattern, and it would repeat after this fundamental time period, which will be expressed in seconds or milliseconds. So it is T naught is equal to 2 pi by T naught. This is the fundamental period, and if somebody asks you to find the fundamental frequency, it would be 1 by T naught, because as you know, time period is inverse of frequency. So fundamental frequency would be 1 over T naught. So this is your concept of fundamental frequency and periodicity. After this particular time interval of 2 pi by T naught, the signal pattern will go on repeating itself. So as you know, the sinusoidal or cosinusoidal signals are periodic in nature, having fundamental period T naught is equal to 2 pi by omega naught, where omega naught is the angular fundamental frequency. Angular fundamental frequency. And the last signal for today, and last actually basic your continuous time signal that will near throughout in this course is your sync function. SINC, sync function, or sync signal to be precise. Now sync signal is defined as T equal to sin CT. Sin C, sync is sin C of t, is sin pi t approximately equal to pi t by pi t, or minus t minus mean equal to plus mean. Now what does this particular thing mean over here? Now let us start drawing its plot. So now this is sync t, right? It has a maximum value of 1 when time t is at 0. This is your time axis. And for all integer values of your time, it will cross 0. Let us so for time t equal to 0, its value is maximum, which is 1. That is, area under the curve of sync function is unity. And for each zero crossing, what is a zero crossing? Where the curve of the signal crosses the zero line of the time axis. So these are also known as, these points are known as zero crossings or null points. So for any integer value of time t, that is ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Now understand this. So it is, here 0 is there, so here it is 1. Here it is minus 1, minus 2, because we are talking about the negative time scale, minus 3 and minus 4. So for all negative as well as positive integer values of time t, independent variable of time t, the signal function crosses at 0. Only its value is 1, that only its value is 1 for only t is equal to 0 case, and for the rest of the integer values, both positive and negative integer values, the curve touches 0. Only at t is equal to 0 it is 1. So it is basically this signal is used to reduce intersymbol interference, or ISI, that is short form of this, intersymbol interference in digital communication systems, in order to improve its performance. So this is a problem actually, intersymbol interference. So when you will study digital communications, actually they will teach you how this sync function will help you to reduce this problem of intersymbol interference. And another important usage of this sync function is in sampling theorem. So that we will discuss later. So for time being, just note down this signal. And remember, this signal is an even signal which has unit area. Area under this sync function is unity. That's the reason it is 1. And at time t is equal to 0, its value is maximum. And for rest of the integer values, both positive and negative integer values of independent variable time t, it crosses 0. So this zero crossing feature has many applications, so that we will not discuss right now. So this is your sync function. This is used in your sampling theorem also, and in digital communications for reducing inter-symbol interference or ISI. So that's all for today.